I just beat that cat game that I streamed. Gori, Cuddly Carnage. Great fucking hack and slash. It's an indie game. It's about a cat. Anthropomorphic cat. Who is an experiment. You see, humanity is dead. Completely dead, disappeared, with the exception of one single human being. The female professor who created the cat and his owner. Okay, so she's lost. And the whole point of the game, the whole plot of the game is like trying to find this professor. Okay, and he has a talking skateboard, hoverboard, or whatever, you know, that does the hack and slashing. But that this is not a creature, this is an AI, a hardware, a computer. So they go around, you know, different worlds fighting the toys. The toys have been infected with some kind of virus inspired by COVID-19. But they're like, they just happen to deploy a bunch of unicorns, pretty cutesy little pinky unicorns. And you know, what they inject them is a substance, a liquid substance, you know, that's like colorful, rainbow-ish. So they inject this to them and they go berserk and they want to kill everything, you know, and everyone. And they hate humans and they hate Gori. And they're all about, you know, putting up billboards and graffiti saying, "Don't resist the change. We're here to save you. Fuck humans." The game has a lot of swearing, by the way. A lot of swearing, a lot of F-bombs. Sounds like a fever dream. It is. But it gets better, you know, it's pretty much a dystopia, an apocalypse, right? Everything is in ruins. Controlled by these cutesy, rainbow-ish toys, right? Colorful creatures trying to kill you. And we've gotten to a point, Gori, you know, they've gotten to a point where there's no more room for dialogue. You can't reason with these toys, you know, and they're fighting for freedom because they claim humanity, who they killed, you know, took their freedom away. So they're looking for compensation. And so the goal of the game is to kill them, to go into these colorful worlds, you know, and kill them and stop them and save the professor. I don't know, man. I just beat that game this morning. The final boss was a bitch. And I just want to say that it's everybody's gotta have their own interpretation of the plot and the lore and the setting. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's my interpretation. I'm just saying it may be inspired by modern events and what's going on nowadays, but that's just my interpretation. I don't know, and I'm serious, and I'm not being that sarcastic because the same studio I got a review code from these guys. Even though they know my channel is for RPGs, they still sent this game to me. I didn't ask, you know, I was like, why did you send this game to me? I didn't ask, I should have asked. But I was like, why did you send this game to me? You know, I cover JRPG, this is a JRPG channel, you know, I rarely cover, like, non-RPGs. But they still sent it to me. Thank you, studio, for sending the game to me, I appreciate it, great fucking game. But I don't know, it's just too many coincidences, you know. But they also sent this game to a transsexual YouTuber, famous one. So when I found out about that, I was like, so maybe I got the game wrong. I don't know. Do I recommend this game? Yes, I do, but wait for the price to drop considerably. I'm not sure if you guys should support this company. I have mixed feelings about what they did. Why will they send a review code? I mean, it makes no sense. Right? When your whole game is like too obvious, or maybe I just want to convince myself that the game's about that. That the game is pretty much a fuck you letter to wokeness, you know. But maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. How would you react if Radiant Historia was remade into the Xenoblade franchise? How do you take an old... what? What? It's like saying, how would you react if Chrono Cross was remade into the hyper dimension. What? I mean, what kind of question is that? I don't know exactly what you're trying to ask, CT2 exception. Like, I don't understand. You mean like Xenoblade Chronicles 4 will be a remake of Radiant Historia? Is that what you're trying to ask? That's I don't know. Speaking about Xenoblade Chronicles, yeah, we're finally getting the remaster of Xenoblade Chronicles X. People were begging Monolith Soft and Nintendo for like 10,000 years. So it's great news, but I have mixed feelings about it. I have some concerns. I have two concerns. The first concern is the obvious one, that the game is gonna be even more censored than before. And in case you didn't know, the original Wii U version, the original Wii U version was censored, but it was just the outfits. Just some outfits, you know, showed a little bit too much skin, and they censored that. Fuck you, Nintendo, for doing that. Well, Wii U was all about censorship, but Nintendo Switch, they didn't give a shit. So I don't know, it's, and I say they didn't give a shit because there's a crap ton of really kinky visual novels, you know, completely uncensored on Switch. So why will they censor Xenoblade Chronicles X Remaster? I don't know, but anyway, I don't know yet if this remaster is going to be censored. I don't know. But yeah, I'm afraid that my primary concern is that it's gonna have like altered dialogue and censored dialogue for the modern audience, you know, that nobody gives a fuck and represents zero, it represents shit, you know, the same modern audience that mysteriously made Concord and Dragon Age fail. I don't know what kind of modern audience they're talking about, you know. Anyway, so apart from the usual concerns I have with every fucking single modern game, my concern is this, and I'm pretty sure some of you will like have the same concern. Why will they release this remaster near the end of the Switch's lifespan? I mean, I'm just jumping to conclusions. Maybe Nintendo won't release the Switch 2 or the next console next year. Maybe they'll wait until 2026. I don't know. But it seems that everything is pointing towards the fact that Nintendo will release a new console next year. So why will you release this remaster that, I mean, it's been like 7 years since we started begging Nintendo and Monolith Soft, you know, for a remaster of Xenoblade Chronicles X, so we could have all of them, every single one of them, on the Switch. And now that we gave up hope, I think it was around last year or 2 years ago when Tetsuya Nomura, holy shit, I'm so sorry, Tetsuya Takahashi. I apologize, I'm so sorry for saying that. Sorry for the insult. Tetsuya Takahashi said that porting Xenoblade Chronicles X to the Switch will be like really difficult, and they just didn't have enough budget. Well, maybe he lied to us, or maybe after that, you know, he ended up getting enough budget. Maybe Nintendo told him, hey, we didn't say anything about budget or low budget, you know, here's money, here's $10 million, remaster the fucking game. And then Tetsuya was like, okay, but it's gonna take me like 2 years, and by the time I'm done with the remaster, the new Nintendo console will be out. Wouldn't it be better to release the game on the new console? Nintendo said no. And okay, it's not that weird because I'm guessing Nintendo knows that their next console is going to be expensive, not as expensive as PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, you know. But they know that maybe the next Nintendo console will be a little bit more expensive than usual, and not a lot of people are not going to buy it yet. They're going to wait a few years. So what are these people gonna do? Stick to the Switch, and therefore stick to the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition on Switch. That's the version they're gonna buy. And also, this could also be interpreted as some kind of message that the Nintendo's new console is gonna be until the end of the next year of 2025, or maybe 2026. Who knows what's gonna happen? I just find it weird that we begged Monolith Soft for many, many years for this remaster, and now that we lost all hope and nobody cares, the game's finally getting remastered. Okay, well, good, great, you know, maybe I'll get it, maybe I'll play it. Not on launch, definitely not on launch. It'll take me a long time to get that game. And when I play it, maybe I can finally do my video on Xeno Series Worst to Best or something like that, right? But anyway, it's great news. I just have that concern. it's a little weird. The timing seems off, you know, and it's gonna be released on March of 2025. So who knows what's gonna happen? But yeah, it's good news that after so many years of begging the companies, it's finally happening. Now remaster Xenogears and Xenosaga. It's really small. I'm gonna have to make it big, so it's gonna pixelate. But there you go. That's my old retro store. With a schedule written in a paper right there next to the... That was Retro Roxy. That's my old laptop. The red one. The red thing you see there, that's my really old mini laptop. You know, I still have that one. It barely works though. Some controllers are there, some games below. Yeah, check out the stores behind it. The stores behind it don't even exist anymore. Something else is there nowadays. Yeah, look at this. Oh man, that's my kiosk. That was the retro store I opened in 2012. Yeah. Oh man, nostalgia. That's fucking great. The memories. The memories. Yeah, that was 12 years ago. That was my retro store, and I miss it a lot. I would love to like open up a retro store again, but I know for a fact like getting the games, buying them, you know, and getting suppliers and shit, and that's a pain in the ass nowadays. One of the reasons why I closed the store was because there was a huge lack of supply, you know, back in the day. There were still a lot of demand, but there wasn't a lot of supply. And nowadays, with the prices of everything nowadays, I doubt, you know, I will... And in a country like this, ruled by the left now, I don't know what if the business will succeed. Probably not. So, anyway, it's an investment. I just don't have the money. But I would love to open up a store again. I miss that. Do you have a video telling the story? I probably have, yeah. I can do that one right now, and upload it as a clip on my second channel later, so it's there. Because the last time I told my story with the retro store, it may have been in my private podcast on Patreon. But publicly, I don't remember when I last talked about my store. So I ran that store from 2012 all the way till 2016, I mean. For like 12, 13, 14, 15... At 16, I moved to a bigger place. So it's 4 years. I had that kiosk for like 4 years. And then I rented a bigger space because I had a lot of games. You know, that small space wasn't enough anymore, so I needed to move on to a bigger place. But that was around the time when I was fucking sick of my life and everything, you know, and I wanted to move to another country. I fucking hated living here in Mexico. I was miserable. So I was only there in that big... I don't think I have a picture of the bigger store. I don't think I have one in this computer, though. So I moved on to a bigger store, you know, a bigger place, you know, but I was only there for like 3 months. Until I shut everything down, you know, I started having problems with the suppliers. I wasn't making that much money anymore, so I was like, fuck this. Closed the store, sold everything separately, like online, you know, and to all old customers. And then after I sold everything, I went to live to England for like 5 months. And when I came back from England, a few months later after coming back, I reopened another kiosk in the same mall, just not that one that you saw, another one. But the problems that I faced in 2016 they didn't go away. I still had a lot of problems with the supply. You know, there wasn't a lot of demand yet anymore. And I don't know, this other kiosk was a little bit more hard to find. That one was easy. The one I showed you, the first one, that was easy to find. But the other one was like kind of hidden, you know. So when I went, I was there for like 6 months, and then I closed the store again for the final time. So in April of 2018, I was living with my parents, and I closed the store for good. That was the last time I had a store in 2018. But then that was also April of 2018. That's also when I started making a little bit of money here on YouTube. You know, so I was like, you know, I'm making the same as a YouTuber than on my fucking failed second attempt kiosk store. So, yeah, I'm doing YouTube full time now, and here I am. That's my story. So we got Star Ocean, the second story R, which is a remake, versus Octopath Traveler 2. Just keep something in mind. We're not covering the original version of Star Ocean, the second story, okay? Just the remake, strictly the remake versus Octopath Traveler 2. What do these games have in common besides the beautiful, overly gorgeous and adorable and oh my god graphic style that is the HD 2D by Square Enix? That they're fairly recent games and that they're grindy, grind fests, both of them, and they look like retro games, right? That's all they have in common. Start voting. Terry says Star Ocean 2 wins for me because the characters get more time to flesh out in private actions as you get to see more interactions between characters. So you're giving preference because of the characters. The characters in Octopath Traveler 2 also have a lot of interactions though, but anyway. Eikichi says Star Ocean 2 Remake is a way better game because it has lots of content and features. I mean, even its PS1 version was ahead of its time. And what about the simplistic modern game Octopath Traveler 2, what about it? Simplistic? It's a grind fest, it's a saga game. You exploit enemies' weaknesses and come on. I don't think it's simplistic at all, but to each their own. Newcomb says Octopath Traveler 2 for me. I like the battle system way better than in Star Ocean 2, action-based. The story in Octopath 2 with 8 characters I felt more connection to, especially Throne. Okay, great character by the way. Tekka says Star Ocean 2, it was innovative for the time and still holds up today. But we're talking about the remake. Oh, but I also enjoy the battle system more and the remake has no random encounters. Octopath has random encounters. I get it. Mystery Kid says Star Ocean 2 Remake has a great cast of characters, nice world to explore, has some interesting sci-fi elements and fast-paced action battle system with a lot of fun side quests. Okay. Kevin says Star Ocean 2 Remake is a more refined product. I mean, it has been remastered from Star Ocean Evolution and Star Ocean Second Story. It's a remake, not a remaster. While Octopath Traveler 2 is more ambitious, a crossroads of Advent. The poll is over. Star Ocean 2 Remake won with 55%. Octopath Traveler 2 lost with 45%. Only a 10% difference. It wasn't too far off. That's great. Well, once again, my pick wins by maybe a very minuscule hair. And that's Octopath Traveler 2. Why? Just because of the story. That's it. Because I'll be completely honest, in terms of graphics, it's the same. It's HD 2D, they look extremely beautiful. It's just impossible to pick which one I like more. Come on, it's the same graphic engine. Come on, right? And it's impossible to decide which one looks better. You know, beautiful, gorgeous looking games. In terms of music, both have amazing soundtracks. Maybe I will probably give Star Ocean 2 Remake a preference, because I think I like more songs from it, but it's impossible again, you know, it's just like both have amazing soundtracks. But neither soundtrack is like top tier, I don't know, in my opinion, but they're like amazing, right? Great music in both. And then the battle system, it's hard to compare it with because one is action and another one is turn-based, but I love both. And if this was, trust me, if this was the original Star Ocean, the second story versus Octopath 2, I will pick Octopath 2. Because in the first game, you know, in the original version of PS1, PSP even, you know, it's such a hardcore game, man. It's like hard to win, it's frustrating, I don't know. And it was refined in the remake. And it's perfected in the remake. It's awesome to fight in Star Ocean, the second story. I even grinded a lot in that game because, dude, I love the battle system so much. But I did the same in Octopath Traveler 2. So, even if both games were action or turn-based, you know, I will be stuck as well. You know, because we got these two amazing battle systems that I passionately love. I can't make up my mind. I love both. I don't think one is better than the other. I prefer turn-based over action. So maybe because of that, Octopath has one extra little point. Maybe, but the battle system in both games are like, it's like fucking great. And in terms of gameplay, the rest of the game, like exploration and shit, okay, Star Ocean 2 may have an advantage because you have like quality of life features that you can teleport, quick, fast travel, you know, no random encounters, which is great, and Octopath has random encounters. But Octopath has it like every character has their own skills, and you can steal items from people, and then, I don't know, and then you got the job system, which it's a rarity in me, but I like the job system in this game, while I don't like job systems at all in most video games. But in this game, I like it. So it's like, one game makes up for what the other one lacks, I guess. I don't know. I love the gameplay in both, the exploration in both. Maybe, but okay, maybe Star Ocean is a bit better because no random encounters, right? Like someone said. But it's just, I love I can't decide. So really, the only big reason why I'm choosing Octopath 2 over Star Ocean is the story. I think the story in Star Ocean 2 is great and all, you know, but in Octopath 2 it's like darker, more adult-ish, you know me. Of course, I was gonna side in terms of story with Octopath. You know, a lot of adult situations, mature situations. There are some mature situations in Star Ocean 2, but not really. And I feel the story is more fleshed out in Octopath 2. It's like, there's way more story. In Star Ocean 2, you can beat any version of the game in like 20 hours. If you stick to the main story, in Star Ocean, the second story, you beat in like 25 hours. And you're done. In Octopath, like, it goes on, you know, in like every character has their own chapter completely fleshed out. And the characters in Star Ocean, the second story, are like, you know, they don't get a lot of attention, I felt. They do get their resolution in side quests and whatever, you know, but it's like, I felt it was stronger in Octopath Traveler 2. And it's just a matter of taste. I'm not saying the story in Octopath 2 is like better, you know, I like it more. It's a matter of personal preference. I like the story in Octopath a little bit more. You know, it's just that's it. And about what the people were saying about character interactions, you know, there's a lot of more character interaction in Octopath 2 this time around. Like in the first one, we're like a saga game, a bunch of strangers that know nothing about each other and never talk to each other. Here they do talk to each other, interact with each other, you know, but not as much as in a traditional JRPG like Star Ocean: The Second Story, where you go and recruit character by character and they all interact and talk and blah blah blah. I get it. So maybe Star Ocean 2 in terms of cast is better than that, but I'm still gonna side with Octopath Traveler 2. I just find the characters and the story more interesting. The end. That's my answer. These are two games that have a 9.2 ranking score in my blog, which means I feel the same about both. Yeah. If I'm gonna pick Octopath 2, let it be for the story alone. That's it. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends, and see you next time!